Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of Home Solutions. Dennis Purvis here, live and direct in the Mix 1041 studios. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you're doing well. We have got a special treat for you today. We'll talk about in just a minute. Just remember, Home Solutions brought to you by my company, Pro 93 Home Solutions. My partners and I are excited to help you with anything you need, home remodeling, home improvements. We are a licensed general contractor in the state of Tennessee, and we'd love to help you from everything big or small. Maybe just a quick bathroom redo, or maybe you're wanting to put new flooring in. Maybe you're looking for some painting, exterior, interior painting, decks, additions. Maybe you're looking to build a new home. We would love to help you out. Please give us a call, 458-4135, or you can look us up online at pro93homesolutions.com. We're here to help you. Remember, we also have our clean team that does residential and light commercial cleaning. Wendy and her team would be more than happy to come out and give you a free estimate. Everything we do you got a free estimate. It doesn't cost you a thing for us to come out and tell you what it's gonna cost. We like to work with folks, work with your budget. We're looking for recurring cleaning customers right now. So if you'd like to, now that things are starting to open up, get that house disinfected, and maybe it's a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis, give us a call, 458-4135. Remember, we are a green clean team. We use green chemicals that are free of bleach, ammonias, and different dyes. So we would love to help you out and also make the world a better place. So Pro 93 Home Solutions, there's my shameless plug for the day. Now it's time for his shameless plug. But you guys may remember he's a familiar face here on the show. Had him on a few months back. And doing a little, I think right after the first of the year you were here.
Yes.
And I've got Kevin Mcewen with Weichert Realtors. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent today, and thanks for having me on.
Man, listen, it's good to have you. Thank you so much. And just for the folks that are just listening today, maybe they're driving around this morning, headed out to check off some things off their honey-do list, getting some materials, or maybe they're listening on the Mix 1041 app, streaming online, or you're watching us on Facebook. Hi, Facebook world. We just remind everybody a little bit about your story and how you got into the business and how you got to Cleveland.
Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Kevin Mcewen. I'm with Weichert Realtors right here in Cleveland, Tennessee. If you are looking to buy a home, or right now is the time to be selling a home. So if you're looking to sell a home, give me a call. You can reach out to my office at 423-380-8872. Again, we're right here in Cleveland, Tennessee, but I service all of Bradley County, Hamilton County, Polk, and all of our neighboring counties. So if you've got a need, you want to be looking to sell your house, you want to know what the market's looking like right now, now's the time to be calling us out. It doesn't take anything for us to come out and be able to tell you what your house is worth, really get down and look at what you've done, and give you an idea of what kind of repairs you might be looking at before you want to list. And obviously, we're here with the people that can do those repairs for you.
And we'll get into that, I think, in the second segment when we talk about these things. But one of the reasons I wanted Kevin here today is we get questions all the time about, should we sell? Is it the right time to sell? Should we hold out, wait out? What should we do to the house? So I thought a big part of this today is Kevin is always, one thing I love about Kevin, he knows what's going on. He's kind of got his finger on the pulse, and as soon as I can tell you, because we printed out, he sent me 3 slides right away as soon as I said, hey, I want to do a market update, and he was like, oh yeah, and 5 minutes later I had an email with 3 slides showing median house prices, everything from, if you're renting, what's it going to cost you. He understands trends, understand the stats. So tell us a little bit, I know when you were here before, you gave us a little Bradley County update, but let's go a little more meta and get outside the scope. The folks that are waiting for anything or wondering if it's going to go down, talk a little bit about where home prices have went in the last few years, few decades.
So that's an excellent point. We get this all the time as real estate agents. Oh, I don't want to buy a house right now. I want to wait for the prices to come back down. Folks, I hate to tell you this, but since 1960, the prices have not come down. They've only gone up.
And listen, I'm looking at the chart, and the only significant drop was, you guessed it, 2007, 2008, when we had a little bit of a housing crisis. But since then,
it has just continued to
It
go
has
up.
doubled the decline, more than doubled the decline we saw in those few years.
And that's what people don't seem to understand. They say, oh, we had a crash in 2008. Well, this chart's available on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Kevin Mcewen Realtor. These slides are available. It shows you that within 3 years, we were back to where we were after 2008, and we've just kept going straight on up. Right now, in the United States, houses are going up at about 1% per month. This is this is not a time to wait.
Per month.
If there's okay, folks, you think that the house I showed you yesterday was not expensive enough for your taste. Great. Come back tomorrow, I'll show you the same house. It'll be $10,000 more.
Yeah, wait. Come see me July 1. Give me a couple weeks, and I'll show you some more appreciation. And again, that's one of the reasons why I'm happy about the line of work that I'm in as being a contractor is we're helping folks, and we tell people this all the time. For most people, the single largest investment they're going to make in their life that builds wealth is real estate, period. Doesn't have to be their private home. It can be commercial. It could be land. Guys.
It could be their rental homes.
Dirt goes up. Right now, I tell people all the time, like, what do you think? I'm worried about selling. I'm like, does it have 4 walls and a roof? You're good. Yeah, call Kevin. He'll help you out.
Exactly. And this is what I'm telling my sellers as well. You know, there is such a thing as 4 walls that are about to fall in, and that's hard to sell. But if it is at all functional and within the scope of what Dennis can fix, we can sell it.
Well, I just have one question, and this is, I'm not going to mention any names or addresses, but what about the house that had the floors like a roller rink?
Yeah,
or actually, it was more like a roller derby. Is that house sell?
That was one of those examples of a house that is truly beyond redemption.
Did it ever sell?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Folks, some of you that may have looked at houses in Cleveland may know what we're talking about, but let's just say I haven't walked into a house before. I've walked into some older houses with rotten floors and worried about where to step. I'd never been thrown off my equilibrium because it wasn't that it wasn't sturdy. It was that it was literally, folks, 2 rooms of this house looked like you could have it. It looked like a motor speedway. It was banked.
It was
yeah, with no crawl space.
With no crawl space. But I mean, like, I have actually 2 houses that are under contract right now that I listed for folks. And one of them had a septic tank that needed to be pumped. It probably needs a new roof. We still got offers $10,000 over my listing price. $10,000 over my listing price.
You look like a hero when that happens,
exactly.
Don't you?
Exactly.
And so, guys, listen. That's the kind of stuff that Kevin can deliver for you. And I can give you personal knowledge. I've got good friends that are now friends of Kevin's as well. And listen, he goes above and beyond. He makes sure the things are done for you. I tell people this all the time. You want to find a realtor that's hungry and that's willing to go to bat for you. And that's one of the things I respect about Kevin is that he treats every transaction personally, and not in a bad way, but in a way that it's like it was his house. Well, I would want, if this was my house, I would want that repaired, and I would ask for this, and I would want that paid, or I would want that. And the same way when you're selling a house. Folks, you just heard him. He got an offer $10,000 over, and I bet you didn't have to wait very long for those offers.
With my standard package, I offer Matterport, which is a virtual walkthrough, as well as the professional photography. I barely had time to get those on. We were already getting showings. We were already getting offers. We only showed the house for 3 days, and part of that is because I do provide the virtual walkthrough. But part of it's, we just have an amazing market, and I'm going to be going to bat for you with that.
Listen, we're working on a house right now that is a friend of my family's. And sorry, Kevin, he already had a realtor. Try. But no, they came. We were there working on the house. They came and put the sign in the yard. It was like a Thursday night. It hit the MLS Friday morning. And I may have my days messed up, but it was from the time they put the sign in the yard, the next morning it was hitting the MLS. My folks are calling me at 3:00 telling me, man, there's been like 8 people here with realtors seeing this house, and we're still working on it. And the realtors are just coming in rolling with the punches. See, they're doing a bunch of work in here, and they're getting this fixed and that fixed. It's going to be great. They're talking to my workers. We got a couple deals out of it because we got a couple of referrals out of it because they're like, oh, you guys can do this. It was wonderful. But he had, by the end of that day, I guarantee you, I don't know how many pictures hit the web. Because I mean, it's
probably 1 or 2.
And he had 3 offers by 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's how crazy it is right now. So we've talked about kind of the meta. So let's drill down. I know you've got these stats. Talk to me about where we are in Bradley County right now.
So right here in Bradley County, we currently have 100 homes that are on market. Normally, we would prefer to have closer to about 500. So we're still very short on the number of houses that we'd like to have active. Right now, listing prices are averaging between $280,000 and $360,000. So it's just crazy prices. But I like to look even closer and look at what the price was when these houses went under contract. And this, I feel like, gives us a really good idea, and also looking at what has sold in the last 3 months. So current under contract prices is between $240,000 and $268,000. So $240,000 is the average for Bradley County.
Okay.
And they're actually closing. So when we actually see what they negotiated and everything, it's coming out closer to 227 to 261. So those numbers are pretty close. What the under contract and the sold is, they're finally matching. But if you remember when we talked last, these prices average for Bradley County was $200,000.
Yeah.
We're now at $240,000.
Well, I know even if you're listening, you're like, I didn't realize, because if you're not in the business and you're not thinking about selling your home, you may not know this. You may not have heard this. You don't look at the paper, look at social media. I completely understand. But folks, everybody just got their Stanley Thompson Assessor of Property notice in the mail. And I could tell you because I had customers calling me, because they're going nuts going, oh my gosh, my house has went up $50,000. And obviously you pay we explained to some people, just because it's that high doesn't mean you're going to have a dramatic increase. A lot of folks were really upset over a $12 difference when it all came said and done. But I have not seen, and I've been in the real estate industry some way since 2003. And in almost 20 years, I've never seen, I take that back. Oh, Lord, I'm old. 2000. So 21, over 20 years. Anyway, I'm going to cry now. Anyway, I've never seen such a rapid, and I'll tell you, we saw this evaluation just jump, and you got confirmation of it from the tax assessor. Normally, there's a lag there.
Right.
It just happened to be at the right time during their valuations that they're pulling data going, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. And it's not just us. But the big thing is we did not see, and I can tell you, in 06, 07, 08, where every place, California, Arizona, Florida, those are if you want to know why our market busted, those 3 states are the most responsible. Okay? I can promise you that, bar none. But we didn't feel that as much here.
No, we didn't.
We saw an increase for sure, but we didn't see this ridiculous. But you didn't go to bed one night with a $200,000 house and wake up with a $300,000 house.
Right.
In California, you did. In Florida, you did, and that's why we saw such precipitous uptick in foreclosures. But we also haven't seen these kind of values go with simultaneously some of the all-time lowest mortgage rates you're ever going to get.
Right.
2s on a 15-year loan?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Me? So I need to get a mortgage get Rita back in here from Southern Heritage, because listen, folks, if you haven't refinanced, let me just give you your tip for the week: refinance. I don't care what your rate is. If it was more than a year ago, refinance. Because the Fed announced this week that they're going to start teching at rates. And while that doesn't have a direct correlation to mortgage rates, it has a direct correlation to mortgage rates. So, Kevin, what do you tell people that, I know you mentioned this earlier, but people that are trying to wait, I feel like it's a lot of the people that are waiting to either buy into the stock market or to sell in the stock market because they feel like, oh, I'm going to wait. And that never goes well for people.
No, you're never going to time it right. And so the big thing is if you're looking to buy, let me rephrase that. If you need to buy now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't see this getting any better because our market follows New York, California, and their markets continue to explode, get stronger and stronger. And we're finally catching up and seeing what my friends that are agents out there have been telling me they've been dealing with for months, where it's every single house that is worth buying is going to have multiple offers on it. So that's something that folks need to get prepared for is you're going to have to be a stronger buyer. You're going to have to be ready for these competitions with other buyers that are out there because everybody wants the house here.
You got to have either cash in hand or a pre-approval in hand ready to go. If you're just out, this isn't a market for Sunday drivers and people just kicking tires. I will tell you this, for those of you that are looking to sell, one of the most important things you can take away from what Kevin just told you about Bradley County stats, if you're listening in our listening area, there's 100 houses where they would like to see 500, which means there are probably at least 500 buyers out there right now ready to go. And I know you've probably seen the same offers coming in from the same people because they haven't been able to get the last house they wanted to get.
Exactly. And we get that story a lot where they're like, whatever you want, we need this house. We've lost 5 other houses.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm seeing a lot of is right now, and this is coming from an agent, it's a great time for sale by owners if they know how to negotiate, if they know what the process is. But for people that just see great prices and have never dealt with real estate, have only lived in that one house for their entire life and have never sold before, right now you really need an agent because you can throw out whatever price feels good to you and you're leaving $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on the table because when agents see that for sale by owner, they're going to negotiate you as hard as they possibly can. And then if you don't know what repairs cost, if you don't know what repairs are expected from most people, you'll just give away more money, not realizing that you can negotiate these things.
So listen, we've got to take a break. Gideon's already going to be mad at me because I'm over. But listen, we're going to take a short break, come back. We're going to follow up with this, and we're going to talk about the issue of what repairs you need to make. That's where we at Pro 93 come in, and I'll tell you what our standard answer to that is. Stay tuned. Don't turn that dial. We'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Are you tired of going to YouTube or Google for answers to your home improvement questions? Maybe you have more projects than you have time. No matter where you are in the process, Pro 93 Home Solutions is ready to serve you. Pro 93 is a local, veteran-owned company offering residential and commercial remodeling, cleaning, and security. Contact us today at 458-4135 or online at pro93homesolutions.com. Let the pros at Pro 93 find the solution for your home or business. That's 458-4135. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Saturday. Dennis Purvis, Kevin Mcewen here with you. I've got Kevin from Weichert Realtor. And let me we were just talking about the market and selling your home. Let me just throw this out there. He's being very, very diplomatic. You need a realtor right now. Okay? I understand. I'm an independent guy. I know the real estate market. I know the business. But I would never sell my house by owner because, number one, I don't like leaving money on the table. Number two, have you read a Tennessee standard sales contract for residential property? If you haven't, you probably should because you don't know I'm telling you, you need an expert that knows how to do these things, how to negotiate closing costs, how to negotiate any repairs. Now, what are you going to do if the buyer's got a government loan and you don't have handrails on a back porch? What are you going to do? Folks, you need somebody that can navigate you through the process. And I can tell you right now, I've got lots of friends that are realtors, but I can tell you a lot in the mortgage business and banking just because what I have done for the last 20 years. But Kevin is one that just stands out to me as somebody who does it and does it right. That's why I love having him on here. He's got the information. He knows what's going on, and he is looking out for your best interest. And I know you're saying, well, if I can sell it myself, I can save that commission. I promise you that Kevin will pay for himself. In a market like we're in right now, you're worried about the 3 to 6% you're going to pay a realtor. Well, if you leave 10% on the table, you just gave up 4% that Kevin could have made you. So do 4% of $300,000 right now and tell me if that's worth it to you. All right. I'm telling you, I'm being as direct as I can, and I'm not getting paid to say this. Kevin's not slipping me $20. All the realtors in town aren't. I'm telling you, there's no way, even with what I know and how many times I've read through those contracts, folks, they make you money on the sales side. And as a buyer, they save you money. Okay? There is no downside. I've never understood the argument against realtors because, honestly, there's no downside.
And I can put it this way. When I bought my house just a few months ago, even I had my broker look over my entire contract to make sure I was doing it right because I was going to make sure that it was.
Yeah, there you go. Are you kidding me? You're going to take care of that. So make sure you're taking advantage of Kevin and his expertise and his experience. He knows what he's doing and knows how to play the game because that's what you're paying for, folks. Somebody to help you win these, especially in a competitive environment. And again, supply and demand is a pretty simple rule of capitalism. And right now there is a huge demand and no supply. So get the most you can for your property. Now, next, the question I get 3 to 4 times a week is, this is how the phone call goes. Hi, Dennis. We are thinking about listing in our home, and we want to go ahead and paint the inside and put in some new hardwood floors, maybe some LVP. We want to redo the bathroom and then paint the outside and maybe put up some new gutters. And I just said, ma'am, sir, I will take any money you want to give us. But I'm going to ask you this question. Do you have a realtor? Well, yes. We know who we want to use. Have you talked to them about these repairs? Well, no, we haven't. Well, listen, again, I will take anything. We'll do anything you want us to do. We'll come out, take a look, give you a great price, and get it done for you. But I don't want you throwing good money to bad. Listen, we're a locally owned company. We live here. We work here. We go to church here. Our kids go to school here. I'm going to have to see you at Walmart. I don't want to take because that's what I would feel like. I would be taking you for $20,000 of money you will not get back. Right? So talk about, if you can, Kevin, when you're seeing, especially with the market conditions right now, if somebody is about to make that phone call to me or any other contractor in town, what are the main things you tell folks to spend money on that you know they can get their money back? Or that's going to help sell their house and not be just throwing money?
So the first thing is when we're looking to sell a house in this market, the more functional the house is, the better off. Now, don't get me wrong. If your kids have dinged up the entire house and your paint job looks like crap, then please get it painted.
And painting is an inexpensive
That's
job.
An inexpensive job. And, but at the end of the day, most people that are moving in are going to want to paint whatever color they choose, but it shows a lot better if it's all clean and fresh. But functional. So if you have active leaks, if you have septic issues, if your roof is in need of being replaced, more than likely these are things that your future buyer is going to ask you to do. So you're going to have to do it either before the contract or during the contract.
And I would tell you, think about a home inspection. If a home inspector comes through your home, not the appraiser, but the home inspector who's going to turn on every faucet, flush every toilet, flip every light switch, and test every outlet. If you know you've got a dead wall of outlets, folks, most of the time that's not an expensive fix. If you know you've got a small leak, but you can live with it, even if it's on an outside spigot.
He's coming to my house later to do that. So
even if it's on an outside spigot, those are the kind of things that add up. They're pennies a day, but they turn into dollars a month of money that you throw away. Get those kind of things fixed. Functional meaning water systems, electrical systems, the roof system. If you know you have a bad roof, let me tell you what's going to happen. The appraiser, especially if it's a government loan, and we are a huge government loan area because pretty much all of Cleveland and the surrounding area, until you get really into either downtown Cleveland or downtown Chattanooga, is eligible for not just VA and FHA, but rural development. So you've got plus THDA. You've got all these different kinds where those appraisers are going to give an estimated life on the roof.
Yeah.
And if there are pock marks from hail, he's going to say this roof needs replaced. So guess what?
It's going to be part of the contract. They're going to ask for it.
If that deal's going to go through, it's got to be done before they're going to sign off on it.
Yep.
It's not something that you can just say, okay, yeah, we'll do it. Nope, that appraiser's not going to sign off on that, and you're not going to get the underwriting. So, folks, think about functionality. If you've got downspouts disconnected, some of the little things. I can tell you things you can do for yourself. Number one, downspouts. If they're coming straight down, a lot of people have downspouts, and maybe the elbows on the end have been gone from the weed eater or the lawnmower. Go to a box store, go to Beatty's, go to Cleveland, go somewhere here in town and grab some more and put them on. Because if water is feeding straight down, anybody, and from the inspector to the appraiser to anybody, is going to see it's going to eventually cause water damage to your home. Water's going to win, folks. It's going to get under your house. It's going to eat through stuff. Those are little things you can do. Check your handrails, tighten them up. Wobbly handrails. If you don't have handrails on more than three steps or more, you've got to have handrails on a lot of different loans. What else are little things that I'm forgetting? We talk about curb appeal.
Yes.
Cut the grass,
just
trim the
cutting
bushes.
the grass and trimming the bushes. Spend one weekend doing that, and it's amazing what you'd be able to
do that
achieve.
today. You can do that today. Call Kevin. He'll come out tonight. He'll come see you. And listen, if you ask real nice, he might even weed eat for you. I've seen him do it. Listen, do these little things. Dress up the front. Something inexpensive, especially if you've got vinyl siding. Pressure wash the house.
It's the little stuff that really makes a difference, and that doesn't cost a lot.
No, everything I'm just talking about, you could do most of this for $500 or less combined.
Yeah.
Right? You can do these things. Think about those kind of things to do. These are things that you don't even have to call me for. Now, if it's outside your scope, you don't have the time, Pro 93, we'd love to help you, 458-4135. But, Kevin, if they're out there listening right now and they either know they need to buy because their family's getting bigger, they need to maybe relocate, sell where they're at, get something bigger, or maybe they're trying to sell and downsize, or maybe they're just going to sell, period, how can they get a hold of you?
So if you want to get a hold of me, you can either look me up on Facebook at facebook.com/Kevin Mcewen Realtor. Give me a call at the office, 423-380-8872, or my personal cell, 772-480-0315.
And I can tell you, he's a local realtor, so much so because we live in the same neighborhood. Shout out to Peachtree. One thing for all that you folks on Facebook, say hi, Kevin, one last time. Gideon should have it tagged either right there or right there. You can probably go right to Kevin's Facebook page from there if you're watching. So please, please, please give him a shout. Listen, you don't charge a thing to come out and give him an estimate.
No, estimate doesn't cost you anything, and I'll walk you through my full package, and we'll see what is going to work for you, and we can customize whatever we need to make sure it's your marketing for what you want.
So folks, listen, you got an expert, use them. Don't try to go at this yourself. There's a lot of DIY products, but selling your house, I don't think, is one of them. That is a personal. This does not necessarily reflect the views of Pro 93 Home Solutions and or WCO Lee Mix 104. So I don't want Steve Hartline mad at me. To that end, Kevin, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me over.
Thanks for taking the time, man. Thanks for your knowledge. Thanks for your expertise. Thanks for these numbers, folks. There you go. A little honest market update for where we are. Listen. Everybody, take care of yourselves this week. Most importantly, love one another. We'll see you next week, next Saturday morning, for another edition of Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.